And we're back. Mike Cernovich, DangerPlay.com, Gorilla Mindset, the Under Armour hoodie mindset. Under Armour. They should sponsor me. They should sponsor me. So Milo's banned from CPAC. What do you think about that? Milo is banned from CPAC. He was going to be a keynote speaker, and now he's banned. So what do you think about that? Excuse me. Coffin Cernovich mindset. The attack on Milo was Super PAC level major league attack. My sources told me that they spent $250,000 on Oppo research. So one of my sources do you all know what opposition research is? Do you know opposition? Okay, Oppo research is short for opposition research. What they do is they hire private investigator, they hire interns, they hire people to go through every YouTube, read every blog post, read every website. A lot of times they hack your emails, they hack everything, right? So I have a source in the Oppo field. They $250,000 is what they spent on Milo to get him banned from CPAC. So they spent $250,000 to go through everything that he's ever done. And they made the professionally edited video, and then they ran it from the Shell Corporation. And yeah, Evan McMuffin was associated with these people. So the Reagan Battalion is a Shell Corporation where they kind of launder opposition research through. They make it seem like a viral, organic movement. And they're like, oh, the Reagan Battalion. If you go to the Reagan Battalion website, they have 2 blog posts. One of them was endorsing Evan McMuffin. And if you go to Evan McMuffin's website, you'll see that if you go to Evan McMuffin /Reagan Battalion, he references the Reagan. So they got him. They scalped him. Well, they didn't scalp him. That's overstating it. But they landed a blow, definitely for sure. So what are the big things that we can learn from this? What are the big things that we can learn from this? Well, we can learn a lot of things. And a lot of things I'm not going to share privately because it'll seem like I'm hating on Milo, who's a personal friend of mine, and I've always been nothing but supportive of Milo. But what can we learn from this event? Big picture. Milo is in the major leagues. In the major leagues now, people are going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go after you, to splice everything that you did together. PewDiePie, major leagues, they're too big now for the mainstream. So they are now high-profile targets. Me, I'm not in the major leagues yet. That is 100% true. Cernovich is still in the minor leagues. Milo, he went to the major leagues on Bill Meyer. The CPAC people are spending all this money on him. It's a different world. In the major leagues, what did Milo do last night? What did Milo do last night that could have been a better approach? Well, Milo's closest friends know that Milo was raped as a child. We all know this. Milo needed to come forward with this last night to explain what was going on. The Facebook post that he did was a move that you would make that would have worked a couple months ago. But he needed to come forward and tell his full story. He needed to tell it on Facebook Live. He needed to make sure that people knew what he was talking about, that he hasn't processed what has happened. He needed to come forward with that because he was a victim. I was going to do a Periscope and explain all this, but it really isn't. It isn't my place to go and tell people. It wasn't my place to do it. I think Milo. So Milo he's very agile, and I think that he didn't realize how much money people were spending to take him down. So that's a big issue. Is Milo is now, yeah, it's Milo's story. I can't tell this story. I probably said too much. I shouldn't even have said what I said. I shouldn't even said that, right? So I'm not going to breach confidence and tell the full story because it's not my story to tell. But Milo had to realize he needs to talk to Oprah or somebody, and he needs to really get that story out there. And that should have been done. That should have been done last night on Facebook Live. But it's his story, and he's been a victim. A lot of people don't process it well, and because of that, it's sad. It's sad that when you're attacked that you have to now come public with your victim story from when we were younger. It's not fair. It's a dirty game. But at the major league levels, you're playing the dirtiest game of the world. They spent $250,000 on Oppo research on MILO. The Super PACs did. This didn't come. Reagan Battalion isn't some meme guy who sits around watching stuff making memes. I know from my sources, their $250,000 was the bounty on MILO. What people were paying to get them out of CPAC, because CPAC is a major league event. The Bill Meyer and then the CPAC thing is the next level for MILO. And people are going to spend a lot of money. People are going to spend a lot of money to keep you out of that clubhouse. There's billions of dollars, guys, going around. Do you know how much CPAC costs to put on? And there's billions of dollars at stake. Trillions, really, when you factor in wars. They're going to do whatever they can to keep out people like PewDiePie, keep out people like MILO. They have to keep him out of there because he was becoming too powerful. Am I a big target like that? Not yet. I'm still right here. I'm right here. Right? Now, you notice the response on MILO was coordinated too, right? Coordinated through Jake Taper. So what's interesting is how the media response was coordinated through Jake Taper. This was definitely it was a planned hit. Anybody in the intelligence community, anybody in NSA, anybody at the level of opposition research, the people that I know, this was a coordinated attack. It didn't just leak out. Who is the Reagan Battalion? Right? I mean, think about this. Who the hell is the Reagan Battalion? Somehow Evan McMuffin and Jake Taper know the Reagan Battalion. Are people really falling for this? Are people really falling, oh yeah, it was just an organic uprising against MILO? This was coordinated. People were paid off. There was probably $1 million floated around. Jake Taper probably got a couple $100,000 for his tweets. I bet you he got paid off the books in Bitcoin or into his Luxembourg account. He probably got a couple $100,000 for those. Those were organic tweets. When has Jake Taper ever talked about sex abuse or pedophilia? Right? MILO didn't even do anything. I could see if people accused MILO of something. I could see if somebody came forward and said MILO had victimized me, and I could understand then the outrage. But you have a CNN anchor tweeting out 5-6 times about this, and you want to tell me that there wasn't some kind of quid pro quo going on there? Then well, Jake Taper is deep state anyway. A lot of people didn't know this, but Jake Taper has been CIA for 15 years. A lot of people, you're now realizing now, deep state was involved in this hit on MILO. Deep state was involved on PewDiePie. People go, Mike, because when I said deep state went after PewDiePie, you know what people said? Mike, there's Mike again, crazy Mike, you know, thinking deep state cares about PewDiePie. Is power and control. MILO has influence, and he's outside the grid of deep state. So here's what happened. Most of you don't know this. Deep state had tried to co-opt MILO. Many of you, and I'm going to be very careful, I'm not going to breach any confidence of things MILO told me, but deep state had tried to co-opt MILO a while ago. So they had already tried to co-opt MILO, and he didn't go along with it. This is what happens when you don't go along with the deep state. They go after you, they spend a lot of money to attack you, and then you know what happens if those attacks don't work? Oh, you get in a car crash like Michael Hastings. So first they go, hey, you know, ploma plata, right? It's like the drug cartels. The deep state will come to you with money and promises of good media. If you say no to that, then they come after you with the hit pieces. And the full frontal, what you're now watching on MILO is a deep state assassination. What happened to MILO is and this is a warning of what's going to come. So if MILO now doesn't play the game a little bit different, then they will tell him that they're going to murder him. And that is the deep state. That's what they do. First, they bribe you, they flatter you. If that doesn't work, they completely assassinate your reputation. If that doesn't work, you end up like Michael Hastings. You're driving your car down the street one day, and they hack your car. They disable the brakes, and then you speed right into a tree. Those are the steps. Have they come after me yet? Only a little bit. Only a little bit. So I'm still at phase 1, which is they've made friendly offers to me, but they're realizing I'm not selling out. Phase 2, they're not going to do the full character assassination on me because I'm not at Milo's level yet, right? So I'm not on, because that's the reality, right? I don't have a problem with saying people at a higher level. Milo's in the major leagues. I'm still in like AAA, right? I'm the guy. I'm playing the ball. I'm swinging. I'm hitting. I'm good. They're not quite ready to call me up yet to the New York Yankees, right? They're like, oh, you know, good player, strong. We'll keep our eye on it. Milo's New York Yankees. But when you're playing for the New York Yankees in the political game, that is when you become a massive target. So Milo's a massive target. The targets on him will intensify. If I were Milo, what's next on Milo? I expect false accusations of Milo to surface if he doesn't start to play ball. They're definitely going to try to set him up. They've tried to set me up already. I've had girls that are like you would not believe come up and talk to me when I'm out in public. And I'm thinking, you think I don't know this isn't a deep state setup? You know, I was plus, you know, I'm in a relationship and all that, but I've been like, no, you know, this is way too obvious. You think I don't really know what is going on here? This isn't the way it works, right? This isn't the way it works. So yeah, they've already tried to set me up in minor ways, just to keep me under their thumb. And so if I'm Milo, I'd be worried about him being framed for a crime. I'd be very careful who he allows in his social circle. You never see me hardly alone ever anywhere. You never see me, you know, why do I do all these periscopes? There are a couple of reasons. One is I like talking to you, but it's an alibi for me. It's very easy to triangulate what I've been up to at any given time. It's very easy because they have tried to set me up. And they try to set you up in honeypot stings and everything like that. So this is the game. That's the whole thing. Most people, now you realize it. Remember when I told you a year ago that I haven't been telling you everything because you weren't ready for the truth? Who remembers my earlier periscopes a year ago or so when I go, I'm not telling you the truth. I'm not telling you the full truth. Now you're seeing the full truth. Jake Taper is deep state, and the hit pieces on people are coordinated at the highest levels. This isn't journalism. This is deep state agents. Jake Taper is deep state. They are all mouthpieces for the intelligence agencies, for the various super PACs. You're now watching, you're in the matrix now. You're deep into the matrix. You're realizing now that this isn't journalism now. This is deep state level stuff. And that was why the attack on Milo was coordinated. It was the fingerprints were there. Anybody by now, I've educated you all year. Anybody by now who can't see this was a clean, planned, coordinated attack? Is there anybody who doesn't agree that this was clean and coordinated? Jake Taper his friend didn't text him, please talk about Milo and CPAC. Does anybody really believe that Jake Taper's friend texted him and said, where's Jake Taper been? There have been 1,300 arrests. So let's zoom back a little bit. 1,300 child traffickers and pedophiles have been arrested in the past week or two, right? How many of those stories has Jake Taper covered? Did he cover that big arrest in California, 378 people, that Tennessee arrest, that Sweden network? Did Jake Taper cover Rotherham? When did Jake Taper start to care about pedophiles? Actual real human traffickers, real pedophiles have been arrested. Show me his coverage. Show me his tweets where he cares so much. Show me Jake Taper really pushing the stories and getting the information out and warning people and protecting children. When did he ever give a SHIT about any of this stuff? Where? When? When did any of these people in the media care about it? When? Show me. You can't. So then suddenly there's a video of Milo, who himself was a victim, being glib and dismissive of the victimization he suffered, being used out of context, and then now that's the story. So we've had 1,300 pedophiles arrested in a couple weeks. We had the Rotherham sex scandal. Laura Silsby, a Hillary Clinton friend, was trafficking children in Haiti. Where is Jake Taper's coverage of Laura Silsby trafficking children from Haiti and Hillary Clinton interceding to take that out? Where's Jake Taper's coverage of Jeff Epstein and Bill Clinton? All right? So Jeff Epstein, actual pedophile, friends of Bill Clinton, gets a sweetheart deal. Show me Jake Taper's coverage. Nowhere. Oh, but suddenly he's tweeting all day on a tweet storm. Oh, I got to speak out for the victimless. I got to speak out for the voiceless. That's what journalism is about. Get out of here. Right? What you've witnessed now is 100% proof now that only a fool can won't believe. What you've witnessed now is a coordinated hit job between deep state and their agents in the media. And on a personal level, I don't like to see this happen to MILO. On a personal level, I don't like what's happening. As an intellectual, as a commentator, as a journalist, what has happened is amazing and awe-inspiring because it's all right in your face now. So the two sides of me are on a personal level, man, this is terrible to see a friend be attacked like this. But on the conceptual level, this is magnificent because now you have proof. You now have proof that these media attacks are coordinated with deep state agents. They have nothing to do with the truth. And this is how they come after you. So now, interestingly, some people going after MILO have talked about the Illuminati before. Isn't that interesting? So you know that some of the people who talk about these issues, you know that they're deep state too, don't you? Or do you believe that everybody that is a YouTube personality, you don't think any of them are deep state? It's a flawless attack, Cassandra Rule said. Exactly. And it was orchestrated on a Sunday night. This didn't happen. This didn't happen on a Saturday. It didn't happen on a Friday. It happened at peak Twitter hours on a Sunday night to make it to the Monday news cycle. This could not have been coordinated more beautifully. This could not have been coordinated more beautifully than what happened. It was clean. This is what you call a clean hit. This was a clean hit. The last time we saw this was there was a dox on an alt-right figure. That was another deep state operation. They tried to frame me for. It was another clean. There have been clean hits coming. I'm next, man. I know that for sure. They're coming after me, so I'm definitely preparing because they went after a marginal alt-right figure, which I told you was going to happen as a very clean hit. They went after MILO, another clean hit. I'm next. Oh, we know I'm next for sure. So what am I doing right now? Knowing that you're next is valuable right now. But yeah, they're definitely coming to get me. How am I going to fight back against it? Well, I don't know what they're going to make up about me. That's the whole thing. I don't know what they're going to make up about me. Because everything that I've done has been public. I was falsely accused of rape. That was public because I made it public. Because there's no secret about me that's actually true. There's no secret about me that's actually true. But I'm very careful about being alone. Yeah, they might kill me. That might be the only way to get rid of me. Because I'm never alone, and I'm never alone with a woman. Talk to anybody at the Deplorable. I'm never alone with a woman at all. Well, other than, Shauna, of course. Why? Because that's the setup. That's how they'll get me. Oh, Cernovich tried to do this, and then, Red Pill Babe was there. Never alone with the woman. When girls came up, who weren't even, they were just friends, right? When they came up to talk to me, though, I always made sure there were other people around. Why? Because I'm next. I'm the crosshairs. So what they went after, damn, you're paranoid. Well, really? What happened to MILO? What happened to MILO? Right? And I knew that they were going to take the CPAC thing. I definitely knew. I knew it. So MILO needs to be more. I told MILO 9 months ago that he needed to be prepared about people framing him for a crime. Pizza Party Ben's on the stream. He was there for the conversation. I was with Pizza Party Ben. And I said, Milo, they're going to frame you for a crime. And Milo was just like, no, baby, don't worry. You're so sweet. Don't worry about me like that, baby. And I go, Milo, they're going to frame you for a crime. Pizza Party Ben was there. And I said, they're going to frame you, bro. And he's like, oh, no, baby, you know, no. And that's how they get you. Because the irony of Milo, here's the irony of Milo. Milo is a very kind person. He's a very hard worker. And he doesn't realize how powerful he truly is. So because of that, he doesn't realize, yeah, he's naive about his true power. Oh, he is. No, 100%. He didn't realize that between Trump, Sheriff Clark, Milo, me, though to a lesser extent, we could take over. I'm not going to say it. But if Milo, Sheriff Clark, Trump, and me kind of said we need to do something, you know, really different, could we? Right? Could we? So, but Milo doesn't really internalize it and really understand how powerful he is. So because of that, he doesn't realize what a target he is. So because of that, he didn't realize last night that it wasn't a few Twitter accounts going after him, that it was a coordinated deep state media attack. And so, yeah, I mean, look at how they went after General Flynn. Right? They framed General Flynn. Framed him. That's why you've never... Remember, this is all coming together now. The General Flynn thing, there is no transcript of him discussing sanctions with Russia. That was deep state coordination, which Mike Pence is a part of. Mike Pence is in on it too. People, you know. So that was a deep state hit job on General Flynn by Mike Pence. So now you're starting to see the pieces of the puzzle coming together. Now you're seeing it all come together in real time. This is real House of Cards shit. Bill Clinton, they asked Bill Clinton, was House of Cards real? And Bill Clinton said, the only thing not true is that you would never pass an education reform bill that quick. Go find that quote. Bill Clinton was asked, is House of Cards realistic? And he said, the only thing unrealistic is that you would never pass an education reform bill that quickly. Fact check true. Thanks Ben. Right? This is real life House of Cards. And I still haven't told you the full truth about what has been said to me and the people who've reached out to me. I'm way deeper than I ever thought I would be. I'm in deeper than I wish I were. But that's why I've told you that I'm a target, because if I'm killed, you'll avenge me, right? So, in a way, the only thing keeping me alive is, one, I'm very conscientious and paranoid, and two is that people now know that if something bad happens to me, who to blame, right? Who to blame? Yeah, Cassandra's being attacked. They're calling Cassandra... This is amazing. So Cassandra Fairbanks, I met her at the RNC, right? Republican National Convention. And she works for Sputnik. I know how much money she makes. We've had long talks. They're trying to say she's some like multimillionaire paid by the KGB. Trust me, because I picked up a few bar tabs. She's not a multimillionaire. She's definitely not some multimillionaire KGB. She's just another working single mom. You know, she's a great person. I'm not shading her. She's a great human being. But the idea that she is being paid millions of dollars by the KGB, that is completely inconsistent with reality. But now they're going after her. They go after everybody, right? They go after everybody. People don't even really realize it. So now, because Louis Mensch is part of the deep state too, she's a mouthpiece for him. So now they're going after Cassandra. They're going after everybody. And that's just the new normal. And the great level of intrigue is that a major YouTube, I'm not going to say names, but a major YouTube personality is part of Deep State. And you can see by the reaction that is happening today in the attacks on Milo, then that he's definitely part of Deep State. And I've told people about that for a while, and people got really angry about me. A while ago, I go, this YouTube personality is part of Deep State. And people got angry at me and how dare you. So what you got to realize is it isn't what's true, it's what people are willing to accept as true. So I still haven't told you the full truth. Because whenever I try to tell you the full truth, people get angry. So I'm elevating you on a different level of truth. So we're now at like 2/3 truth. So I haven't lied to you, but I still haven't told you everybody who's part of the conspiracy. Because when I tried to tell people 6-9 months ago, people got angry at me. They're not ready for it. That's fine. That's definitely fine. But today, people are showing their true colors. People are definitely showing their true colors today. Pay attention is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to name names, but all I'm going to tell you is pay attention to what people are doing and what people aren't doing. That is my advice to you. So what's Milo's next move? I don't know. What's Milo's next move? I don't know, but this is a blow. And it isn't over with, too. There's now going to be pressure on Breitbart to get rid of him. There's now going to be pressure on a lot more people. The attacks on Milo, there might be a news cycle. This is a bad news cycle now. Remember this. Remember this, okay? There's no such thing as bad publicity. 2 exceptions. Remember when I gave you this rule? Fact check me right now. Did I give you this rule yet on PR? There's no such thing as bad publicity unless you're a Nazi or accused of pedophilia stuff. Right? Remember when I told you that? The only bad PR is if they can brand you a Nazi or if they can brand you a pedophile. Then the news cycle is bad. That's bad news. And they got, what they do is they tried to brand Milo a Nazi. That didn't work. They tried the white supremacy angle. That didn't work. So now the news cycle, here's the news cycle. The news cycle is going to be banned from CPAC because pedophilia. And that's all people are going to remember. Banned from CPAC because... So Milo needs to do a full court PR press. Milo needs to... And he doesn't need to... He's saying, Jake Taper, let me on your show. Milo, I love you, bro. I love you. You know I love you. Telling Jake Taper that you want to go on a show to defend yourself. You need to be doing Facebook Live, YouTube Lives, Google. This is a PR. You need to do a PR blitzkrieg, a social media to your supporters. Right? Sitting around hoping you can be on CNN to defend yourself one time on one episode. This is a full court blitzkrieg. This is a full court blitzkrieg. Last night I told Milo in a text, this is your Pussygate moment. This was a Pussygate level attack. And we all know that it is a fabricated, out of context. We all know it's deep state. But there needs to be a full court, a very intense response from Milo on all channels, all the time, right now, all day. If I'm Milo, I'm on YouTube all day. If I'm Milo, I'm on Periscope all day. If I'm Milo, I'm on... Facebook Live all day. I'm calling on my podcast. I would just do a nonstop live stream. That's what I would do if I were Milo right now. I would just have a 24-hour live stream and I'd be calling people, calling podcast people. I would be hammering them because the attacks haven't stopped. The attacks haven't stopped. Now the attack from the deep state media is going to be controversial speaker banned from CPAC because pedophilia. So this is all chess moves. You all see where this is going now, right? There is going to be a full court, deep state media character assassination on Milo because now that he's been banned from CPAC, they now have a hook. They're going to say Milo was banned from CPAC because pedophilia. That's going to be the story. So he needs to know that that's the story. That's the narrative. You got to get ahead of the narrative right now. You can't wait to respond to that narrative. You have to realize that's where they're going with it. You got to get ahead of the narrative. You have to hit it hard, 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 pound away. And as uncomfortable as it is, here's what I would tell Milo. I would say, look, this is how, not as a friend, this is what I'd tell him as an advisor. As a friend, I'm just a friend. Here's what I would tell him as an advisor. I would say, hey, what's happening to you is going to get worse. You were molested as a child. People know this. You need to, one, come forward with your story. And you need to not be glib. You don't need to be cool. If you cry, you cry. Take your makeup off. Don't worry if you look pretty. You need to just talk and you need to tell your story. It isn't about charming people. You need to just tell the truth. Eye to eye. Look the people in the eye. Let them know. Forget about if it's off-brand. It doesn't look cool. You just have to come forward. Now, it's never fair to tell a victim. Telling a rape victim, hey, you have to tell people you were raped as a child. Groomed by pedophiles. That isn't the kind of advice that you want to tell a friend, but this is the real world. This is the real world. He has to tell a story. It isn't optional. It isn't about charm or anything like that. He just has to tell it. And very sad, but that's what you have to tell. And he needs to definitely let people know that he hasn't processed what he's been through. And he needs to do some outreach to other victims. And he needs to get in touch with other people who are victims. When people lash out, he needs to let them lash out at him. If people say, Milo, I was a victim and what you said hurt me, then he needs to just say, you're right. I can't, he needs to be one-on-one. He needs to just let them come at him, and he needs to just be willing to accept all of this and open a conversation about child sex victims. So that is definitely what he needs to be done, is that Milo, I think, was in denial that he was groomed by pedophiles. This is why people go, why are you so passionate about attacking pedophiles? And I've told you before, friends of mine had been molested, right? Remember when I said a good friend of mine was molested, but I wasn't going to say who it was, but that you'd all know who it was? Do you remember when I said that on a Periscope? Fact check me. Remember when I said, they go, Mike, why do you care so much about this pedophile stuff? And I said, because a good friend of mine that you would all know had been molested, but I can't tell you who it was. Remember that? I'm not going to say who it was even still, but remember I did say that. Right? So that's why I'm passionate about the issue. So I'm not going to tell you if that was about Milo or not, but there's a reason I'm passionate about these issues. And people remember that I mentioned it. I said, you would all know who this person was. So unfortunately, that story, it has to be told. And it has to be told sooner rather than later. We live in a very dark world. We live in a very sad world. And anybody who wants to bring light to the world is going to be attacked by the dark forces. That's all it comes down to. So this is a very sad situation. I'm definitely very somber today. Not happy about what's going on. But this is the real world. Life isn't about what you wish it were. Life is about the way the world is and what you want to shape the world to be. So I hope that Milo gets on it. But Milo is Milo. It's his choice to tell the story. It isn't my choice. Nobody owns anybody's story. That is the story they have to tell themselves. So thanks for listening in. As you can see, there's a lot of people hurting that you would never know. That's one of the big things about abuse, is that there are a lot of people in this world hurting that you would never know were hurting. Because they hide it, but there are signs that you can see. There are definitely ways. A lot of people who really want to be loved the most is because they were hurt as children. That's why a lot of people, if they come off as too charming or too glib, it's because of things that had happened to them, and they want to be loved because they didn't have that natural love as a child, that kind of innocent love. So you can, when you're trained, you can spot this at a high level. There are a lot of people who have been hurt. And when you're also trained, you can tell the kind of people who are hurting people. And I'll tell you that right now. If you turn on the news and you watch some of these people, especially on CNN, you can just take a look in their eyes and you can tell that these people are guilty. Some of the people attacking Milo the hardest, you can take one look at them and you can tell why. The people attacking Milo, you just take one look at them and you know that they are the victimizers. They're trying to re-victimize Milo. So I'm not going to name any names, but imagine that you were a pedophile. Don't imagine it. Imagine someone is a pedophile who enjoys hurting children. Is attacking Milo a way to re-victimize the victim? That would be my question. If you wanted to hurt children and that is what you did, wouldn't the best way to do that would be to attack a victim, right? To re-victimize them, to make them relive it again. That's the kind of sadisticness that you're seeing right now on Twitter. You are now seeing actual pedophiles trying to re-victimize a childhood victim, and they're relishing every minute of it. You're relishing now every minute of, they are relishing every minute now of what they are doing. And that's the world. You just got to know there's evil in the world, but keep the light. Thanks for tuning in. We'll keep following this story. Very, very sad. But there's a lot of darkness in this world. You got to be realistic about it. Thanks for tuning in. Mike Cernovich, DangerandPlay.com. Gorilla Mindset. Have a great day. Keep the faith.